Hello, 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 everyone. You are asking Ashley. Happy New Year's to everyone. I haven't seen you guys since last year. I've had a lot going on. I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. Today's going to be a little bit different. I'm just going to kind of free flow a little bit. But today our question is, how do I change my life this year? And I really love this question because obviously in the beginning of the year, people have New Year's resolutions. And I'm kind of New Year's resolution person, but I'm really a goal-oriented person all the time. So it's not necessarily, okay, it's a new year, so let's, come up with some stuff that I might keep and might not. Like, I really am super intentional on what I am going to be focused on for the year. So we're going to get into that, and I'm going to just, give you guys a little tips on how to change your life when, you decide to. It doesn't necessarily have to be the new year. You can decide to do this whenever you want to do it. So just to give you a little update on what's been going on, there's always a lot going on in my life. Obviously, I am a small business owner, so there's always a bunch going on with that. I'm looking to purchase another business, so it's been, stuff going on with that. And of course, I have my kids, and I have my husband, and I have the things. And then the end of the year, we always start to plan our vacations for the next year. So I was doing a bunch of that, a bunch of research. So I was just And then of course it's holidays. So we were here, there, and everywhere for the holidays, cooking and hosting and going to family's house and visiting and having all the fun, doing all the things. So I've been doing all the things that a mompreneur, maybe I'll be a momager one day, but I'm a mompreneur, doing all those things that a woman like me will do. So I've been busy, but of course this is my priority. This is not a New Year's resolution, but this was a resolution that I put on my vision board. I don't have a physical vision board, but my mental vision board. I wanted to connect more with YouTube because I spend so much time on YouTube, watching other people YouTube, and I get encouraged by YouTube, and I want to encourage you. So here I am, and that's what's been going on, and this is a priority. So I said, you know what? Let me film this really, really quick. So some of the things that I will be working on this year, I did speak about some of the goals for my business. I did want to purchase another business that's in the works. It's really the due diligence phase, so we aren't really close to getting that done. We'll probably get that done in the summer, but obviously we're thinking about that. I'm in real estate, obviously, so I do want to purchase more homes. I'm being super duper picky about what I purchase because obviously the market is crazy, and I want to make sure that it's a great purchase, and I don't want to just jump into something. So I will be purchasing more homes this year. Over the holiday, I went to a holiday party for my company, and we were talking to one of my colleagues and actually friends of ours. They go to the same church as us, so we're talking to them and their experience on building a house. And we're like, me, I don't know my husband, but we talked about building a house now, so we're thinking about that and where we want to really set roots and buy land to build a house. So that's going to be something that we're thinking about this year. And then we talked about our family growing, so that's something that we're going to be planning this year. So I'm a super duper planner type of person. So those are the things I'm always planning, but things change, but I like to plan. And how I do things, and I think that it's great, is I write things down and I put it somewhere that I look at, so it could be visible to me every single day. So I put it on my refrigerator, I put it on my mirror in my closet. So I look at it every single day, and it's constantly on the top of my mind because I'm seeing it every day. So that's something that I do, and I encourage you to do that as well. If you have something that you truly want to focus on, you should do that. So more recently, because again, I have a lot going on a lot of the times, I've just been burdened by so much stress. And I think that's typical of me. I work really well under pressure, But now that, you know, obviously I have a husband, I have kids, and I have people around me 24/7, it's very hard to stay like that happy and encouraging, and you know, you're pouring into everyone else. Like, it's very hard to stay, you know, in that state of mind when you have so much pressure. So that's something that I've been working on, just mental health, and just, you know, pouring into myself, because you know, when you are a mom, or you're a businesswoman, or you're just a woman, it's just like so much you have to think about on the daily. And and I'm the type of person that, like, I'm like a very analytical person. So I think about it and think about it and think about it, and like try to see it this way and that, think about it this way and that way. So I will have something on my mind for days, and I'll sleep and think about it. I'll wake up thinking about it. I'll dream about it. It's just like on my mind. And I'm also sort of, I don't like to say I'm a perfectionist. My husband says I'm a perfectionist, but I'm like a high expectationist. And I don't know if that's even a thing, but like, I expect excellence all the time. And I feel like you should give your best, and you should put your, you know, best foot forward and all those things. So I'm constantly thinking about how it can be better, how I can be better, like how I can do things better, or cook better, or be a better wife, or be a better mom. And I'm just reading those things and getting tips. And it's just like, my mind is like going all the time. So now, for this new year and going forward, I started to have, like, you know, specific times where I just want my mind to be like more clear, and just not be like going, and just more just conscious of just spending the time in that moment. And I got this idea from my sister about like positive affirmations. So I started listening to positive affirmations, and I try to take some time, if it's in a car, or if I'm getting dressed, I just play it while I'm in the shower or in the bathroom. Just have it playing to just kind of like clear my mind of all that like negative talk, you know, all that like pressure, and just get that together. So that, I believe, is the most important thing to do going into the new year. Make sure that your mindset is aligned with whatever you're seeking out in the world. So for example, if you are looking to be married, make sure your mindset is the best it can be to welcome somebody. So you're not closed off, and you know, your head down, and you're not really like open for the love that, you know, God wants to give you. So just make sure that your mindset is aligned with that, because like the more, like recently I've been like watching certain shows or reading certain things, and I'm so introspective about my experiences and who I am as a person. Like, I know who I am, like deep down inside. Like, I know these things. Like, people say, like, you know, I am who I am, and you got to deal with it. Like, I'm not that type of person, but I'm very aware of some of my faults. And one of the things that I do, again, I'm the type of person that like carries all of the burden, but I'm also a very guarded person. I'm really, well, I always knew that. I always knew I was a very guarded person, but I also see myself kind of like pulling back more, because I feel like I don't want to put my stuff on someone else's plate. And also, I don't want someone to hold it over me weirdly. I don't want someone to like look at me like, oh, like she's weak or something like that. Like, I don't know, it's like a weird thing. Like, I don't want somebody to have something over me. So I'm not a type of person that's like, and I don't think I've ever been like this. Like, you don't want to sit and talk about your feelings, and you just want to, you know, pour your feelings out to somebody. And you like the woman that's on the phone with their girlfriend, like, girl, this is happening. I'm not that type of girl. I'm more of the person that like takes on someone else's stuff. So I'm a vault. Like, if you want to tell me something that's going on, like, I'm going to hold it, and I'm just not going to divulge it to anyone. And that's just going to be it. And I will hold it like forever. Like, you can count on that. So I feel like it's nice for people to have that person that they know is gonna hold it and just never like speak about it again if you don't want to, never bring it up. And I feel like it's not necessarily that I don't have that person, I don't give someone the space to be that person. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And before I started filming this video, I started really thinking about that. And I feel like the reason why that is for me is because, again, I don't want someone to have the opportunity to have some type of information. And again, it's not like a deep, dark secret that I have and I don't want anyone to know. It's just like more of my feelings, my inner feelings. Like, I don't want someone to hold information they have over me in a different, when we're in a different capacity or different, different space, like we're maybe not in a good space, and they like kind of say however I was feeling at that time. I don't want someone to have that opportunity. And it's obviously to protect myself, but it's also to protect the relationship as well, because I'm the type of person, it's like once something happens to me or once someone does something to me, I hold it. And I might it's not like I'm never gonna talk to them again, but I will talk to them, but it's just never the same. And that might be, common for a lot of people. Like, you're just not able to like move the same way you were moving. But I am like a person that just holds on to stuff, and it's just not good. And like, I prayed about it and I spoke about it with a group in my church, and it's just something that you have to continually work on. I think that's super important for any time, but now that it's the new year, like, to stay focused on being the best you can be. And some things I honestly feel like it's not making me, like, if I become the type of person that's telling all their feelings all the time, that's not gonna make me a better person, just make me a different person. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing that I choose not to, say all of my feelings and just give it so freely. Like, if I am talking about my feelings with someone or my experience, it's just very contrived, because I want to make sure if that does happen in a situation where they tell someone else or they throw it back at me, it doesn't like hurt the relationship or hurt me. So that's just the type of person I am, and that's just kind of who I am. But I'm just very aware of that, and I'm taking the time to be more aware of different parts of me and getting to know me. So that's something that's very important to me, like self-care and self-awareness and all those things. Like, that's something that I am trying to be super intentional about going into, well, we're already in, like, continuing into 2023. I want to make sure that I'm spending time with myself, and not just like, because I'm like by myself sometimes, like, but it's not like intentional. Like, I'm just like doing laundry and I'm by myself doing laundry, listening to music or whatever I'm listening to. I just want to take time to really be in that moment. So that is what I am focusing on this year. And I feel like, again, some things that you should do to be super intentional about what you're going to do or what you want from the year is, again, write it down. Make sure you put it in a place where you're going to look at every single day, and just say it to yourself. Say it to yourself as if it happened already. And that's more, for me, that's something that I've learned, obviously, reading the Bible, because I'm a Christian. But, even if you're not, a Christian, or you don't believe, just write it down and say it to yourself. Like, I am this person. Like, I like to say, I am rich, like, I am wealthy, and things like that. And it might seem like boastful to some people, but like, no, like, you are like, just because you're confident or you're just confident on where you're going to be, it doesn't mean that you're boasting about something. It's just like, you're kind of like putting a stamp on it. Like, this is who I am. I'm saying it to myself, because so much of the time, you're saying negative things to yourself, and you're saying, when you're like criticizing yourself in your mind all the time, it just becomes so heavy. And that shows in relationships. And I think it's super important as women, as friends, as mothers, as wives, as business owners, and all of the things that we carry, that you have to make sure that you're loving on yourself first. So that's super duper important for everyone. And I love like talking to women that are doing those type of things. Like, it motivates me, like, encourages me, like, when a woman is like affirming herself, or she's doing something to like level up, like, that's amazing. And I think that we should share those things with people, because you might feel like you're boasting, but to me, you're motivating someone, because it's like, okay, if she can do those things, then I know I can do those things, because we're friends, and we're on the same level, we're peers. So if she can accomplish it, I can accomplish it. And that's something that's also very important. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that are where you want to be. You don't want to surround yourself with like content, comfortable people, and that's just where they are and that's where they, go with. You want to surround yourself with, or spend the most time with, people that are constantly seeking elevation. That's super duper important. And I feel like that makes a difference in how you're moving in the world and in your life, because if you are like the most successful person in the bunch and you think you're like hot stuff and you can't do any wrong and you're so smart and things like that, like it's no like correction, it's no like motivation for you. So you'll be stuck in that situation, and then 10, 20 years pass by you and you're kind of like, you're not so happy about some of the things that you've done. And that's not to say that accomplishment isn't like to be whatever it is that you're doing, even if that's the only thing you ever did in life, that's not to be celebrated. That is to be celebrated, but make sure that's something that, is the best you can do. Like, you want to be the best you for you, not because whoever is doing it, or not because, oh, well, I'm better than this person. And I feel like that to me is a cop out. Like, I don't, and I was speaking to my husband about this like the other day, when people like, oh, well, I'm not that bad because this person is doing this. Like, to me, like, that's a cop-out. So you're finding the worst person in that area and you're comparing yourself to that person. You're saying, oh, well, then that makes me good because they're this. Like, no. Surround yourself with people that are amazing, people that you aspire to be like or be where they're at and things like that. And that's constantly, motivating you, because that makes a difference. And I feel like, this year, 2023, it's a new year and it's like a fresh start. I feel like it's so great to have a New Year's resolution, because it's like you have a blank slate. Like, okay, whatever happened that year, and like I made some mistakes, whatever, and we all make mistakes. Like, even the person that's most successful, people look at me like, oh, she has it all together. And I like to think I have it all together too. But, things did not go as planned last year. And, I was so down on myself about it. But I had to really look back and like realize that certain situations were a lesson, and certain situations needed to happen for me to be able to move forward and get to another point in my life, an elevated point in my life. So that's super duper important. Thank you guys so much for coming back to chat with me. Like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you share this with a friend. It's 2023 and I want to connect with more of you guys. And I will see you next time on Asking Ashley.